I did. Now we all know I don't broke my teeth on some crab legs. I love crab legs. Shit, that's normal shit. I ain't have to post it. I post it because I'm a real bitch and I live my truth. But I don't talk shit about bitches. I always show love. Never hated on a bitch. Never called a bitch name. Always show love. And I was at JT birthday party. It was hugs and giggles. So I don't feel like she talking about me. And I don't take her as the girl that just start trouble with random people when she dropping a song. So they say there's trouble in paradise for her and Cardi. Y'all bitches trying to hype me up to roast the bitch. I ain't even, I can't, I ain't going. I'm miss ain't going. You feel me? Like, JT, just clear it up. Because I know you see the people keep tagging me and Cardi. They're only tagging me and her. Can you let us know who you talking about? Because I know Cardi broke her soup on a bagel, but I just don't feel like me and you got no tea, no shade. So they let me know. But so I just want to clear this up.
I'm not gonna lie to you again. One thing I love about social media, especially when it comes to female rap, and this is what I can say about women, and I do be feeling bad that y'all don't have a real voice for y'all in the hip hop space. And don't get it twisted. I'm sure if you go on YouTube, there is a lot of gay men who are very popular on YouTube that talk about women in hip hop, but they be finding out bars and putting the diss on people so fast because the dudes, like, niggas could subliminal other dudes and you kind of realistically never know, and it won't never even make it to the mainstream blogs or nothing. But women get to dissing each other and get to talking to each other crazy, nigga, they not gonna even let that go for a weekend, and they gonna tell you exactly who they talking about, and they gonna give you like the part where you like you kind of can't deny that. Because I heard that line from JT, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of like on the clip of the song, like when I hear the OK joint and it did sound like an old Gucci song, I was kind of like, yeah, this shit kind of, I was on the fence with it. Then I listened to it in the gym. I was like, oh, it's not bad. Like, to me, out of the JT songs, I might like this one the most out of all of them.
Okay.
So the OK joint, it was cool. It's like, it's not bad and it's not like, it ain't great, but it's JT. So I'm kind of like, I'm not grading her on the same grade that I would grade like Lotto or somebody.
Like it's better than the other ones.
Yes,
2 or 3, whatever she.
So that's my point. So that's why I'm grading her with her curve. Like, I'm not trying to compare her to like, oh, is this supposed to sound like Doja Cat or any or Sexy Red? I'm not comparing her to none of them. And I do want to give JT some credit because I seen a video. It was a young lady who was a black clothing designer. And I guess she make like sweatsuits. And I guess she bumped into JT somewhere on the street or something. And she was like, man, I got these clothes for you, whatever the case may be. I would love if you know what I'm saying, if you'll wear it, if you like it, whatever the case may be. And JT gave the girl her word. She's like, if I like it, I'm gonna wear it. And I seen JT in the sweatsuit, and I didn't know the backstory on Twitter, of course, until I seen when I'm looking at this little video of Sukiyana, and I seen another video of JT, and they was breaking down the story, was saying that JT wore this girl, she met her on the street. The girl, had a conversation with JT. And JT wore it, like literally wore it for a whole day. Made videos, tagged the girl in it. Like, of course, she promoting her song. She out, she on her tour, so she doing meet and greets or whatever case may be. And JT literally wore the sweatsuit the entire day. Like, did videos and like literally was posting on her page. Like, this shit was like she was in a goddamn, like, she treated it like she was in a Balenciaga sweatsuit. So I respect JT for even doing that. And I do think one thing I can give JT some credit on, I think she understands that it's like, one, people gonna be super hard on her because people may have their picks between her and Young Miami, so people just gonna always be divided on that situation. Or if she do got beef with Cardi B, that fan base is super big, so she's kind of even treating and moving around with this with her promoting herself or building herself as a solo artist very old mixtape type of way. Like, she's really on her kissing babies and like taking pictures with the old, like, she's literally working and building up her audience, and I can appreciate that. And so even if I didn't like the song, I don't necessarily if I would even come and slander the song because I appreciate the limb that she's going out on, and I know how hard it is from going from shit. Even look at Quavo and Offset. Like, Offset to me is kind of like winning the breakup situation right now because I don't necessarily know if Quavo know how to still really be a solo artist yet, like as comfortable as like Offset is with it. So I do want to give shout out to JT for even doing that, especially for wearing that young lady's sweatsuit the whole time.
So okay, just stand on that part right there when you're saying about the whole sweatsuit situation. But do you feel like in society right now it's more of how can I benefit this more? Me being genuine and staying in the hood or putting up the little businesses, or me taking these major brand deals?
I mean, I think you can do two. I think one, you can do both at the same time. And I think that's what makes her wearing a smaller brand the entire time, even a bigger moment. And I think that's why people appreciate it, because people know like JT is one of those girls who really be putting that shit on. Like, she really be designed from head to toe. She really be super icy and all that. So for her to sit here and go out her way while I'm promoting on the weekend, I'm promoting my single. So it's going to be a lot of eyes on me because people will critique it. People going to be critiquing it. People going to be watching it. I'm doing these shows, so people going to want to see if my meet and greets is packed or whatever case may be. So while I'm still doing all of this, and it's people hate watching and it's people watching it is supporting me, I think that's a big moment. So for what she did for that girl is huge. And because people like, dog, yeah, think about JT had a fucking Beats by Dre headphone advertisement on, like, bro, JT ain't no slouch. Like, people look at her for one of those girls who actually know how to put outfits on. So for her to do that for somebody up and coming, like, dog, that's a huge fucking look. Like, that girl couldn't pay for that type of promotion, and so especially not at this time of where JT is at in her career.
And that's why I just add, because even if we just stick on the city girls, I feel like Young Miami is more of a brand. I'm promoting brands or whatever the deals I got, and JT might be more of the all right.
I think yeah, maybe. I do think at one point in time it was that. I do think it's kind of like, I think realistically, even if I'm comparing it again to the Migos, I think Young Miami is going to have a hard time figuring out her identity after now, especially after the whole Diddy situation, because I feel like that's what she was kind of leaning it on. It was like, Diddy gonna do all the work for real, because he's such a great marketer and promoter. He knows exactly what to do, so he can kind of put me in the right situations, and I just got to show up and be pretty.
So we stay with the Migos. Is just okay with Quavo? Quavo was more of the popular artist at the time, and he was on all the features and all that. But it's just like the success is more so Offset, because now you have.
I can make it this even 100 times easier for you, and make it even easier for you to explain. Quavo is Kevin Durant right now. Quavo was the best player on that Golden State Warriors team, but it was a system, and you got to shine even brighter because the system was perfectly fit for you. Now that system is no longer, you don't look like the same Kevin Durant you did when you was in Golden State. Yeah. That's the perfect example of displaying Quavo. Quavo was Kevin Durant. In that system, when it was Golden State and y'all was running and niggas was leaving you open and you just getting wide open shots, and you were just, all you had to do is just knock down open shots. You Cash Money Records. You are the one. But when you now it's on you and you got to kind of do it all, it look rough. And you're going to have to figure out, because of course, one, you so used to your fee being at one price when you being the Migos. And even when you're the hottest person in the group, you can charge a little bit extra, you can charge more. But now it's kind of like on the decline. You ain't had a real hit record in a minute. You're not as in demand. So you're going to have to kind of figure it out. And I even seen people, Offset performed over the weekend. He performed at a festival. And of course, the way he was, in this, we just live in the day and age where people gonna hate on you regardless, because it was the same. Two things happened over the weekend. Quavo had a show and it was super empty, and of course people would try to make the jokes and sit here and say Chris Brown pulled a 50 Cent. And Chris Brown haven't reposted or respond to it, so I don't think Chris Brown had anything to do with it. But it was at like a law. It was like looked like it was on a damn near on a festival field, and it was
Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, like the Jiffy Lube Stadium or something here in the DMV area. It was just like a large outside like stadium situation. And it looked like maybe, like, you talking about that holds thousands of people, maybe like 20, 30,000 people. And it looked like it maybe was only a couple hundred people there. So you can tell, even if it was 300 people there, 300 people in something that it can hold 30,000 people, it's going to look empty as shit. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what it was. And Quavo was performing. Of course, people was making jokes the same way they did with Nelly the other week. But realistically, Quavo still put on a show. But I do think realistically, he's going to have to learn what Offset did. Is Offset has been doing smaller venues. Same thing JT has been doing. It's better to do smaller venues and they be packed than you do bigger venues and then it's not whatever case it be. And of course, I'm sure 9 times out of 10 that don't have nothing to do with Quavo, because I'm sure he wasn't the only person booked on this show, but just people, of course, he in the midst of going back and forth with Chris Brown. So Chris Brown has a larger fan base. We talked about that last week. So people going to find reasons to clown him. But on the other side of that is Offset had a performance at a festival. So it kind of looked, just for that Quavo versus Offset, or who's getting the best of the breakup between the Migos. Offset is on a festival stage and it's super packing, everybody going crazy. But then of course people try to rain on his parade when it was like, oh nigga, you sit here making it like this your show, this is just the festival. But let's be clear, the crowd was still really messing with him. Of course, maybe the size of the crowd makes a difference when it's a festival, when it's actually your own show. But still, we have seen endless people perform on a festival and niggas just stare and look at you and don't give you no type of response. So you can't sit here, like, two things can be right. Like, of course, yeah, you gassing it like this your show.
Everybody can perform at a festival, but if you don't have them moving in a festival, that's a big difference.
It's a big difference, because people gonna clown you for that. So it's just like, you kind of like, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So it's just like, shout out to Offset, but it was just like, you did see people, he was going back and forth with people on social media because people were trying to like rain on his parade, like, nigga, don't get ahead of yourself, like, nigga, this was a festival, this ain't your tour. So it is, you can't realistically, you can't never really make the haters but so happy. I'm sure most of y'all you have probably seen pieces of it, if you haven't seen the whole thing, back and forth going between Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney, and Floyd Mayweather. And the conversation went super crazy. And I guess the part that went viral and people was looking at the father like he was crazy because the father was like, nigga, I ain't never took no L's in the street. I'm still really outside. And you saying this to Floyd Mayweather, and it's like, dog, Floyd Mayweather should never be outside in nobody's hood doing nothing. Everything that we see Floyd Mayweather doing, that is what Floyd Mayweather should be doing. So it was just like the dad was just taking the conversation completely left and trying to make it to some street shit or trying to humble Floyd because of course, realistically, the conversation, because Devin Haney lost last week. So the conversation was talking about, I guess I want to say the parts that I picked up on it, it seemed like Floyd Mayweather was kind of like reminding the dad that it was like, you failing him on the promotional part. Like, you're doing a bad job. And Devin Haney's dad was like, nigga, you making it like you never took no L's before. You take L's in real life. And brought up, of course, Floyd Mayweather lost the baby moms. She passed away, and he was just like, and then Floyd was like, nigga, why are you trying to compare the two? Yes, we all are human. The longer you live, we all gonna take L's when it comes to losing a family member, because that just comes with a part of life. Like, nobody
ain't gotta do nothing but fight, or
promoting or nothing. Like, nigga, you did a horrible job. But so that's what people were saying. Like, nigga, you are somebody's dad, and you're 50 plus years old, and you trying to
somebody dying,
and you as a loss, and you trying to tie it into street shit. Like, nigga, I ain't never took no losses in the street though. But who give a hell? That's not what we talking about, nigga. He's talking.
Didn't he lost his assistant or somebody else too? Just recently, I think that was the
Floyd.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that was the last person that he just lost again. I think he lost his.
I mean, you might be right, but still, the whole point. That comes. Of course, crazy. I mean, it becomes with life, because of course, the older we get, we talked about this a million times.
Health issues.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Yeah. So, and you can't control other people's health.
That's stupid. Like, I guess
analysis or
cat black or a troll. That was tasteless.
Yeah, it was tasteless and it was dumb. But again, it was somebody's dad. It was kind of just like, you are doing a bad job. Let's be clear, Devin Haney isn't a draw. And it don't matter how you want to promote it or how you want to spin it. He's not. We talked about that. We talked about that before the fight. We talked about how he wasn't a draw. So it's just like, you got to take that L and you got to figure out. And it's not, and you have to figure out how to spice him up a little bit.
But the crazy thing, even with Floyd, he is a shit talker and he is I'm a stun on you. But if I was Floyd, he could have easily said, shit, my grandson can pack out that shit before
Devin Haney can. Yeah, of course. So, and then of course, I don't know how Tank end up chiming himself into the conversation, but then Tank and Floyd started going back and forth with each other via social media, and Tank basically said, and people ran with the story, so I don't necessarily know how true it is, but saying that Floyd Mayweather is trapped in Dubai because he took some money from some people in Dubai, and he hasn't done the obligations. I don't know what the obligations was or what he took the money for. 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking it must have had to be for a fight or to promote something. I don't necessarily know what it was. But his
fight was in Dubai.
Yeah, he was like, Floyd trapped in Dubai. He owes some people some money, and they not gonna let him leave Dubai until he pay whatever it is, or he fulfills the obligation for whatever he took the money for. I don't know what the story is. I don't necessarily know what it was. It sounds like it could be true though, because I'm sure
because they just they had a flood and all that out there. So I don't know if that's necessarily, like, he could be stuck in there because of the whole flood shit. I don't know, because that's kind of sketchy, because like I said, they do have a massive flood out there, and I don't think for you to say that he might be stuck, no telling what's the time frame, how long he been out there. So let's just say he was supposed to come back, but the whole flood and shit happened, so now he can't leave.
I mean, I don't know. He didn't come back on the internet, and he didn't come back on the internet and deny that. He just started to post videos and call Tank gay, because of course his videos that's floating around, Tank is very suspect with his dancing, and it was one of the jumps to, what was the Uzi song? I Just Want to Rock. And Tank was in the house in some fucking boxes with no shirt on, and he literally hip thrusting and smacking his hips, and he got like some flip flops on, so you can literally hear his flip flops keep smacking the floor at the same time where he like lining up with, like, I ain't gonna lie, Tank definitely looked sweet as a goddamn Sour Patch Kid in that goddamn kitchen dancing. So of course him and Floyd started going back with that, and then Ryan Garcia chimed in and was like, the only reason why Floyd and this story seemed like it could have been true, and it's kind of crazy, was like Floyd and Gervonta beefing with each other because Tank slept with his daughter. So that one kind of always will strike you a little bit differently, especially, and I guess that's the sad thing about being a dad, and then your daughter kind of like, and that kind of even tied into the conversation we was having last week about Deion Sanders and his daughters. Like, because when your daughter starts to become super popular on social media, and she's a nice looking girl, and you already keeping her in all the design and all that stuff, so now she kind of fits in with all the rest of the social media girls. And niggas just ain't gonna care that it's your daughter. People might not disrespect her because it's your daughter, but that don't mean niggas still ain't gonna try to clap them cheeks.
Hold up, my question for you: who would you be okay with actually being the father or just being around your daughter? Like, you would prefer her dealing with young boy or Gervonta? Because he's in the boxing, so he know how he moves. So that's
I don't know, because I feel like both of them is kind of like Crash House is just on to a different level, because we have seen, let's be clear, we didn't see Gervonta kind of like he done had 2 different altercations with women where he didn't kind of can't keep his hands to himself. And then for NBA YoungBoy, it just come with like, I ain't saying I don't know if he put his hands on women, but his shit just come with a lot of other baby mama drama.
So you'd be okay with dealing with the other baby mama drama than actually you putting hands?
To be, if I kind of want to get a little bit dark with it, to be honest, I probably will be okay with the NBA YoungBoy situation. God forbid anything actually happen to him, nigga. His back catalog gonna pay for a long ass time. His royalties and publishing and masters and all, that shit gonna be worth some bread for a long time. And Floyd is Floyd, so he gonna know how to get his hands on that. Like, if you talk about out of all the baby mothers who got a fighting chance to be able to, if something, God forbid, happen to NBA YoungBoy, which baby mom gonna have a better chance of taking everything that he got? It's gonna be Floyd Mayweather, daughter, because nigga, he Floyd Mayweather. His lawyers is gonna be hitting a completely different. So I mean, it's just a little bit different. Like I said, I don't necessarily know if I'm Floyd Mayweather, I probably wouldn't want my daughter dealing with any of them niggas. But if I had to choose between the two, I may say YoungBoy.
Okay.
We talked about shout out to Keke Palmer and SZA, because we did talk about Issa Rae a little bit earlier. And Issa Rae and Keke Palmer, I think, are doing they are executive producing a movie together that will be starring Keke Palmer and SZA. I think they are supposed to be like a comic duo in this movie, and this will be SZA's first movie that she's ever been in. So I mean, of course, that's a good look for her. And while we talking about movies, and I've seen people with mixed reviews on this one. It's rumors that Lil Meech will play King Von. And the reason in a movie, or maybe I don't know if it's going to be a bio series or what it's going to be. I seen the picture, and it was a picture of Meech when he had braids, and he kind of, I'm not saying he looked like King Von, but I don't think he would play a bad King Von. And I seen people on the internet saying, why do King Von deserve to get a movie made about him? I was like, well, you probably just don't know about it. If you are speaking of that, 9 times out of 10, you never took time out to actually do your research on King Von. Because I told y'all, if you go watch that Trap Lord Raw's YouTube video on King Von, if you watch that whole, you ain't gotta watch the whole entire thing. I think it may be like 3 hours. If you watch 1 hour and 30 minutes of it, you will understand why King Von deserve a movie. Because I swear to God, it'd probably be the best movie. If 50 did a TV show about King Von and let Lil Meech play him, or whoever play him, I promise you that's gonna be one of the most watched TV shows. Because if I'm just going off the information, if he just literally if 50 Cent built a show around all that